Welcome everyone to Low Code Bytes channel. My name is Ahmed Musa. In this episode, we will continue our discussion on managing environments with a focus on how to secure the default environment. Thanks for tuning in, and let's dive into our content. Let's review default environment definition in more details first. A single environment is automatically created by the system for each tenant and shared by all users within that tenant. When a new user signs up for Power Apps, they are automatically assigned to the maker role within that default environment, enabling them to create and manage apps. However, no users are automatically assigned to the environment admin role, ensuring that administrative control is more selectively granted. The default environment is established in the region closest to the default region of the Microsoft intra-tenant, and it is named using the format Microsoft intra-tenant namespace default. Additionally, manual backups of the default environment are not permitted, as the system performs continuous automatic backups to maintain the data integrity and availability. Some other key facts. As Power Platform expert, it is important to understand that the default environment is not intended for development of critical applications. For such purposes, sandbox and production environments should be used instead. The default environment allows every user within the tenant to create apps and flows, and there is no mechanism to block or remove the assignments of the environment maker role as of now. Additionally, the default environment cannot be disabled or deleted because it supports integrations with other essential Office 365 services, making it a crucial component of the Power Platform ecosystem. Once we have familiarized ourselves with the key features of the default environment, let's explore methods to enhance its security and governance. This isn't to say it lacks security measures, rather, it's about how we can enhance control over it. Rename default environment. The default environment is initially named tenant name space default, but renaming it can provide organization users with a clearer understanding of its intended purpose. So in this short demo, let me show you how to rename default environment. Navigate to Power Platform Admin Center as we've seen in the first video. At the Environments tab, you will notice the default environment from its type. Click the environment name. At the Environment Details box, select Edit, rename the environment, and then hit Save. The environment will take a process to provide you with the changes. First, it will validate, prepare, run, and then finalize, as you see in the following steps. In a couple of seconds, it will redirect you to the details page again, showing you the new name. Later on, we will understand more about the details page of environments, recent operations, including what we've just done. So if you look at the full history, you will notice that we just changed the name of the environment. We will talk about each and every feature at its respective module, so stay tuned. Point number 2, communicate intent. Internally, communicating the intended purpose of the default environment is critical. And the most effective method to achieve this is by utilizing the Microsoft Power Platform Hub, which is a SharePoint communication site template. This hub serves as the foundational resource for makers within your organization, offering comprehensive information regarding the organization's utilization of Power Platform. With starter content and page templates available, it becomes effortless to provide makers with essential information such as personal productivity use cases, guideline on building apps and flows, designated locations for apps and flows development, contact details for the Center of Excellence support team, regulations concerning integration with external services or sensitive data. Here is a comprehensive step-by-step guide on installing Power Platform Hub into your SharePoint Online tenant. It is complete with prerequisites and necessary PowerShell scripts. You can find the documentation link in the video description below. Point number 3, limit sharing with everyone. Considering that all licensed users have the capability to share their apps with individual users, security groups, and by default, everyone in the organization, restricting sharing to the entire organization is an important measure to implement in the default environment if you want to stop this feature. In the upcoming demonstration, I'll provide you a detailed walkthrough on how to apply this restriction. Let me demonstrate how makers can share apps with users. After that, we will run a short script to stop this process and then test it again to validate the changes. At Power Apps Studio, you can select any of the created apps and click the ellipses and then hit share. Share as easy as you just share a document with anyone. You will need to type the person name, then select that person role, either a user to just run the app or a co-owner to continue editing the app with you. Another option is to share it with a security group. I have created a security group over here at the admin center, marketing security group. Let's see how we can share the app with this group. At the same screen, type the security group name. A third option, as I said, you can share it with everyone by typing just everyone. So now you can notice that I can share the app with individual user, security group, and everyone. When I hit share, it updated the permission correctly. If I close the screen and click share again, I will be able to see all users and groups this app is already shared with. Let's apply the restriction and test it again. Using PowerShell to run the script. You can use Windows PowerShell or PowerShell ISE or VS Code as you wish. So the first two lines, I'm going to install these two modules for Power Apps Administration PowerShell. I'll select them and run. When you see the prompts for installing modules from untrusted repository, click yes to all. Then let's run import Power Apps Administration PowerShell module. If you see this error below, that's because you have a policy that restricting running scripts in the system. In this case, just add this line first and execute it. Set execution policy unrestricted, scope of the current user. I'll hit yes to all and then import the module once again. This was successful. Now, I will add Power Apps account to log into the tenant. This will prompt me to provide the username and password of the tenant. I will use Power Platform Admin Account or Global Admin Account. Now, let's see how we can get the tenant settings. Let's store the tenant settings in a variable. With this command, you can apply the restriction by disabling share with everyone to true. Now, let's apply the changes to the tenant settings. We completed the script. Let's test sharing with everyone again. At Power Apps portal, I shared the app with a non-admin user as a co-owner. Let's try using Alan's account to share the app with everyone and see what is the result. I'm switching now to Power Apps portal using Alan's account. I will navigate to the app and click share. When I hit share, you can see the error message. The ability to share with everyone is restricted to specific admins. Other restrictions include establish a data loss prevention policy, block new connector in default environment, limit makers to pre-built connectors, limit custom connectors, secure integration with Exchange Online, cross-tenant isolation. However, since we have a dedicated modules covering each of these security controls, we will postpone discussing them in detail until we reach the respective modules. It is also worth mentioning that we will be covering an important episode on managing the default environment. However, as there are some prerequisites that need to be understood, we will address it at a later stage in this course. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Feel free to leave any questions or comments below. We would love to hear from you. See you in the next video.